What we're doing is we're not only protecting auto no fault here in Michigan and bringing awareness to the disadvantage of those that don't have it, that have Medicare, Medicaid, but we're also making strides, leaps and bounds to make those changes and promote these laws in other states as well. And the Neurotrauma Association, along with John Presser, the president, has made a big difference in that, and I want to introduce you to him tonight too.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to be here. Another beautiful day in America. I love hearing myself say it's a hot summer day in Michigan. I love Michigan. It's my pleasure to be here and participate in this celebration. Karen is a lady of inspiration. Sophia is a lady of inspiration. These two souls are dedicated to serving the needs of others that have tremendous needs. My goal as a business person that's in the arena of serving people that have brain and spinal cord injuries with in-home nursing care is to expand that all across America. Hey, by a show of hands, how many people realize that Michigan is the only state in America that has lifetime care for our catastrophically injured benefits? How many people realize that? We got one over here, 2, 3, couple, 4, 5. So maybe a third of us understand that. We have the finest model in America for the care, the recovery, and the rehabilitation of injuries that are sustained in an automobile accident. And if you're fortunate enough to live in Michigan, that means you get it for the rest of your life. Michigan runs our Catastrophic Claim Association on an annual basis that ends June 30th, year ending June 30th. We believe that the numbers that will be posted in this year's report will be 21 billion in our Catastrophic Claim Association. So this is a model that's been designed and implemented for 44 years, and we're the only place in America that does it, but we believe it should happen in every other state. The Neurotrauma Association invites you to visit our website, and if what we're trying to do resonates with you, as it does with Sophia and Karen, then please share it with your friends that live in other states. Ask them to tell a story about the people that suffer from neglect and a lack of resources, because literally, if you live in any other state and you have a terrible injury, you're going to go bankrupt and you're going to fall to Medicaid, which is a Band-Aid and an aspirin. You don't get what you need. Karen, the publisher of Innovative Health magazine, is a visionary. There she goes, look at that. She's a visionary. She has this understanding that the world is changed by people who care enough to believe, A, that they can change the world and are willing to put the time and the energy and the effort in to making that happen. I'd just like to congratulate Karen for her vision and for her undying support of the Neurotrauma Association. She's a marvelous lady. Being in the business of home care for the brain and spinal cord injury, I'd also like to congratulate Sophia Bond as the president of the Guiding Star Foundation. It's a beautiful thing because what she's doing is serving that part of our population, whether it's private health insurance that doesn't cover it, Medicare doesn't cover it, Medicaid doesn't cover it, but people that are paralyzed in a wheelchair need a grade. They need a wheelchair ramp at their homes, and that's what that is about. It's all about creating a wheelchair ramp so you can have some quality of life and have some quality of independence to get out of your own residence. So let's hear it for Sophia Bond. At this time, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Karen Smith, the publisher of Innovative Health.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. John is, he's amazing. The things that he does to help individuals and to try to keep our law intact with the no-fault law here in Michigan is just unprecedented. So let's give a big hand for John Prosser as well. And also I'd like to recognize Steve Support and his wife Karen, who also do so much and help out with that as well. So now, as many of you may notice, we have some fine gentlemen here this evening that are here from the the AMVETS Post 3270 that are going to perform a special ceremony where actually we have our Freedom Ring, which is designed to raise funds for our veterans. But what we're going to do this evening is we have a special guest of honor, and if you could come up here, Brittany King had a wonderful love of her life that unfortunately she had lost to suicide, and she's going to talk a little bit about that and her passion And then we have the honor guard coming up to do a special ceremony for her. Okay.
I want to thank everybody for coming out and showing your support. It means so much to me that our military men and women are honored for the sacrifices they make for our freedom every day. 22 veterans commit suicide a day. Unfortunately, my best friend and boyfriend, Tyler Maddox, was a victim of the aftermath left behind from war. Instead of growing into the successful, intelligent, happy-go-lucky man he was, with a bright future ahead of him, he became a statistic. Suicide is a very sensitive subject that continues to get neglected. But my goal is to speak loudly and educate the nation to shed light upon the serious matter. Many people have asked me, why don't you just move on from it? Why are you trying to take something like this on when you just got accepted into nursing school? There's no way you're going to be able to do both. But let me ask you this. When a soldier is on the front line, exhausted, undergoing gunfire, in the heat, with 70 pounds of gear that has been bearing on their blistering feet as they drag their wounded friend to safety, do they ever just throw their hands up and say, I quit? This is too hard. I don't want to do this anymore. No, they continue fighting and pushing on, because if they didn't, it could cost them their life. Every single person here today knows what wanting to give up feels like. It's easy for us to quit when things get hard. But after this tragedy I've undergone, Tyler has taught me a soldier's mentality. There have been so many hard days where I just lose sight of things, wondering how am I going to get through the day. But then I sit down at the table Tyler and I had dinner at every night and can't help but notice his tear stains on the table from when he wrote his parting letter to me. A flashback of April 25th replays in my head. The voice of the officer who had told me my boyfriend had been found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound haunts me every single day. That alone is enough to make me want to give up on everything I've ever wanted and take the easy road out. Then I start to think of all the innocent soldiers who are struggling like Tyler did. An overwhelming feeling of the need to stand up for these men and women gives me a drive to continue. I refuse to be just another person left behind with the shambles in which suicide creates. How many more soldiers are going to lose their lives before someone finally takes a stand and fights for them as they have fought for us and made sacrifices for us? I will be the voice for those strong men and women who are crying out for help but cannot be heard. I can't promise I can bring this statistic down from 22 to 0, but I can promise you I will continue to fight for our soldiers on the war of PTSD and survivor's guilt and assure them they are not alone.
If everyone would like to come a little bit closer, we're going to do a ceremony for Brittany in memory of Tyler Maddox, her love of her life, and we're going to honor her with a freedom ring in his memory. And I'd like to give this to you now, Brittany. And it has his initials. And I'd like to put this on. Okay, Charlie.
Your attention. The flag ceremony is a very solemn ceremony. We'll present the flag. On your feet.
Ted Hutt!
Ted Hutt, there you go. We will do the The flag presentation is a solemn ceremony. So we will be doing the presenting of the flag and then taps. If any of you are veterans, the veteran may salute everybody else. If they would please put their hand over their heart. We appreciate that playing of the taps. Arms. Forward. Arms. Hold on.
Thank you, everyone. We have to remember those who fight for our freedoms and those who are lost in the battle of that fight. So I thank you all once again, and I'm sorry, please continue with your dinner, and we have a little bit more in store in a little while. We're going to enjoy some music, some networking, and camaraderie. Thank you all once again.